Master Jim, destiny is a gift. Never forget that fear is but the precursor to valor. And to strive and triumph in the face of fear is what it means to be a hero. After everything we've been through. Are you ready?
He's joking, right? If anything stops us from defeating Gunmar, it's not just us in danger, it's everyone.
Tonight, we clean the earth for Trollhunters!
Gunmar and Morgana want to destroy the world. We live in this world!
I found a way to Merlin's tomb. You guys ready?
Holy Merlin.
Oh, that's good.
For the glory of, well, you, daylight is mine to command. What? We get armor too?
With fortitude and bravery, we can end the threat for all time!
Let's go!
Bring back!
I never thought I'd enjoy a wedgie so much!
Pepperjack! Hush! We must be silent, lest we alert them. Ooh.
Let me guess. Shortcut?
Welcome everybody to the Animation Station podcast. My name is Josh, and today we're going to be rounding out our Trollhunters series with Season 3, and today I have with me Xandria.
Hi.
And Mack.
Hello.
And yeah, like I said, we're going to be talking about Season 3 of Trollhunters. So first off, let's start with Mack. What have you thought about Season 1 and 2 leading up into Season 3?
I thought it was really interesting on how they put everything together, and I really loved how the story went on, especially the transition between the end of Season 1 going on to Season 2 with Jim in the Darklands.
Yeah, definitely. What about you, Xandria?
I really liked it. One of the reasons why I like this show is the story so much, and I liked how, going from Season 2 to Season 3, I didn't feel like there was, a big break. It was we went right back into the action. I thought that was really exciting. They didn't, pander on too long in the intro episodes.
Yeah, it's, and Mac and I were talking earlier, and it seems like the show definitely could have been 4 seasons. After episode 13, Bular gets defeated, everything gets done, and then we have that shot of Noam Chomsky kind of sitting up in the Darklands, and then immediately in the next episode, it's even called Return of the Trollhunter, and it's oh hey, here we go, we're back to normal stuff, and it just seems like that it could have been a season 3 type, a season 2 episode. But going back what you said, I do like that it does kind of just start from season 2 into season 3. It's just kind of boom, here we go. Now in this, really the main start of this season, one of the big things that happens is, we do Anton Yelchin is his voice is replaced with Emil Hirsch.
Yeah.
Which was sad, honestly, for me. I kind of got a little it was very emotional when they did change over from Anton to Emil.
It really was. I remember when that news came out, because I was a fan of his for a long time, and just I knew it was going to happen in season 3, but I don't think I was actually ready when it did. It was still it was a little jarring. I think Emil did a great job, but it was different.
But also the way that they transitioned it was also a really good idea. The way that they did.
It was very clever. That
was
very
awesome.
Clever. And it's one of those where I think we talked about it on our season 1 episode, where it's kind of they reference it early on, when Blinky is human. and he's meeting with Jim's mom, she asks some questions, and he's like, yes, like his voice will go deeper, and so it's kind of like they reference it a little bit, knowing that unfortunately we can't have Anton forever, but it was a little jarring because I thought it was going to be like that first episode we're gonna have a meal, but we have Anton for the majority of that episode.
Yeah,
but like also, something that I noticed was that like throughout like the rest of the season, like even like the smaller things with like Jim saying or like grunting or him laughing is actually Anton.
Yeah, I noticed that in the and whenever we have any sort of flashback, it's always Anton.
Yeah.
Unless it was something that Emil had to record.
Yeah.
But yeah, the majority of it, it's all Anton going back, and I love that they did that. I love that they didn't just have Emil replace Anton's voice for everything in season 3. I like that they kept Anton a part of it.
Because like also at the end of this season, which I've like noticed, is that they gave Anton the last like line.
Oh yeah, that destroyed me. Like I kind of knew that it was coming. I read somewhere that it was there, and I was like, I know, I'm prepared. I'll be fine. And then like his voice came up, and I started like sobbing.
Same, because like literally, because I'm like, oh my god, I was freaking out, and then all of a sudden, when it was over, when it came that the show was dedicated to Anton, and it was over, I had a minute to like contemplate of like, okay, of how much information I got, and then I started crying.
Yeah, it definitely hits you hard, for sure. And yeah, it's really cool. It's like I really loved because it's Blinky's original speech that he gives to Jim, and then it's the one that Jim uses for the for his audition
Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, and then he uses it again at the end of the series. So I love that they kept that a constant. So it's like this is something that is part of the series. And I love that they did a callback to season 1, which honestly is probably one of like the best, especially like for Jim, one of his best like long-ish monologue.
Yeah.
Did you guys have any favorite parts of this of this season? Like, what was like one of your favorite moments in this season?
Oh my goodness, Mac, you go first. I need to think.
I
can go first if you guys need to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like honestly, I really, really love mainly the 2 episodes. I love that bad coffee episode.
Yeah.
I really love when like everything that they're doing with Claire. When she's like possessed by Morgana, like when they're eating dinner and she's like, "I'm gonna stab you with this knife." I love that whole entire bit. Like if it was just like a whole entire season of just Claire being possessed and like Jim and Toby and everybody trying to be like, "There's something different about her," I would love that season.
It was so funny. They're like, maybe she just needs to sleep. She's just not feeling well.
Yeah.
It was great. That was so fun.
Or it's like, maybe she's flirting. She's definitely flirting.
Yeah. Like, what do you think? Like, I'm giving you the eye.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. So yeah, let's go. Mac, what about you? Do you have a good part that really kind of like jumped out at you?
At the end of like A House Divided, when Strickler and his mom and like Toby and Claire are like banging on the bathroom door like when Jim is like at the verge of changing his life forever, and with like all the flashbacks, it killed me. But also like that was the one part that standed out, because I remember in season 2 when Jim went into the deep and he fought his fear, which was him becoming a troll. And then in season 3 that does happen, so he becomes his biggest fear.
Yeah, that is a really good scene. Especially like those flashbacks, and it's like I would say 3/4 of those flashbacks are all Claire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love that even because honestly, one of my favorite characters is Strickler, just because he has this arc throughout the series where Jim's the hero, and Jim is always going to be the hero, and we all knew that Jim was going to be the hero, but I don't think, watching it the first time through, you didn't think that, Strickler was going to have this kind of like he was going to have any sort of character progression. Like, I honestly thought that he was going to get offed in season 1.
So did I.
But, I mean, yeah, we have this character progression with him, and even he's completely turned over. Because, I mean, he's really had Jim's best interests for the most part. I mean, he did try to kill him, obviously. But, you do learn the error of your ways. And so, like, you can see that it does change, especially in season 3, where he's training him. And even when he's like, young Atlas, you're not alone. And I'm just like, oh, man, you got me a little bit right there.
Yeah.
All right, Xandria, what about you?
Okay. So going off of that, I guess my favorite episode was the Gym Hunters episode. Just for one, I liked the title. I thought that was clever. But I liked one of my favorite things about the show is like the characterizations of everybody from like the first episode. I was like, I love everybody in the show and I would die for all of them, like immediately off the bat. And so like when things like this happen, I was talking to Josh like the first time about how much I love How to Train Your Dragon. And like the book series is all about like becoming a hero the hard way. And so this really reminded me of that. Like he had to make a difficult decision that like maybe he didn't really want to do. And you got to see his struggles with that and how everyone was like, we still love you for you. But he was like, I wanted to be human. Like his favorite thing to do was cook and to eat. And like he can't do these things anymore. And just like seeing him struggle. So, and like not because like he was cursed or something, like he made the choice and he knew that he made the choice for a good reason. But just like seeing him go through that and like trying to figure out everything I thought that was beautifully done. And then Blinky's speech at the end, which was
like, you're my son.
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God.
That was
wonderful. It was so good.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't even know what I was going to say. Go ahead.
It's one of those, like, to me, honestly, one of the most underrated characters in this whole entire show is Blinky. Because, I mean, he's in every episode, but it's usually he's not, like, the main focus of something. Yeah. He's kind of comic relief. But Kelsey Grammer does such a phenomenal job voicing him that I don't know who you could have gotten to voice him other than Kelsey Grammer, because it can't work without him.
Yeah.
And like, I guess we can kind of talk about that. I mean, like they added a few more characters this season, and the voice acting is phenomenal. Like with we get introduced to Morgana, and we get Lena Headey from Game of Thrones fame, who's absolutely fantastic. It may be one of my favorite. I mean, she has like the perfect voice for a villain, but I absolutely love her character in this. We get more Mark Hamill, which is nice.
Always fun.
And then David Bradley as Merlin.
Yeah.
Who people will also remember from Game of Thrones, but also Harry Potter. And like just thinking about him, like just going off of Harry Potter, when I saw it was David Bradley, I was like, then the voice sounded familiar, and I'm like, oh wow, that's David Bradley. That's Mr. Filch. That's crazy.
But like also a lot of characters that we've seen, so like Morgana and Merlin and like Aja and Krell, based on what we've heard with the spin-offs, they are most likely, or that they are going to be in those spin-offs.
Oh yeah.
So they're kind of a background character, but they also kind of aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about Aja and Krell. Like, to me, like, I really love this season. It is a solid season. My only complaint with this season would be Aja and Krell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, I mean, the way that they're, like, I understand that you need to introduce them for your spin-off series, which I'm totally fine with. I don't like the fact that their design is completely different from everybody else in Arcadia.
Yeah.
It looked weird.
Yeah, it takes you out because they look like something from How to Train Your Dragon. And
Yeah.
just the CG is different. Everything's animated differently, and it kind of pulls you off whenever they're on screen. It just kind of pulls me out of the episode. I mean, Krell not as much. But Aja, Krell kind of blends in sometimes. But Aja's just like, it completely takes me out whenever she's on screen.
Yeah.
Because,
even,
like...
whatever that dude's name is, the dude who looks like... oh, God. The English guy. I don't remember what
Doxy?
his name is. What?
Like Doxy? I think it's what it's called. I think his name is... I don't know.
Sure, whatever. That Luca-looking guy.
Oh, yeah. That guy.
But, like,
I don't know his name. I don't want to learn it.
But it's also, like, because, like, based on, like Miraculous and the How to Train Your Dragon fandom, like, all of the characters and, like, all the villains and everybody there, they all look alike, like the animation and, like, the CGs all together, but, like, when you add, like, those three characters, it kind of throws it off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Like, I didn't feel like they fit into the show. Like, I think it would have been nice to... I enjoyed the episode for the most part, like, just because it was, like, a break. But I feel like they didn't need to take so much time introducing Aja and Krell. Like, it would have been, like, we would have been able to get through the season just, like, having them in the background and having them, like, be a short part of it.
Yeah, if they would have, you know, mentioned them, like, in school or whatever, just be like, oh, we have these new transfer students, blah, 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 and then we meet them, and then they're just kind of, like, they kind of pop up in random places.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a little bit, and honestly, if that's what you're going to be doing with like the style for the next series, if all of the characters are going to look like that, fine, that's great. But when they're in Trollhunters, animate them to look like they're in Trollhunters. When they're, and then, because I mean, we've got Steve and Eli who are going to be in Three Below and
I'm so excited.
My thing is, like, I don't want Steve and Eli to look
like Trollhunters.
If they're gonna be in Three Below and Wizards, like, I would like them to have their models done to match that series. Like, to me, I think that makes more sense. But I mean, again, I'm not an animator, so I have no control over that.
Because I know how with, like, all the movies from, like, Disney, and when they have the new Wreck-It Ralph movie, all of, like, the characters are, like, designed and they all look like they come from that movie.
Yeah, like all the Disney princesses.
They all look like Wreck-It Ralph.
Like, you didn't pull, like, Pocahontas from, you know, Pocahontas and Jasmine and everything like that. You didn't pull those people and just make them look like that. They made them look like they were from the Wreck-It Ralph universe. Which, I mean, that makes perfect sense. I wish they would have done that, but, you know, we can't always get what we want.
Yeah.
Sadly.
So what about you guys? Was there anything else that, like,
what else happened?
Like, really didn't, like, fit in in this season? That you would have been a little different? Because honestly, to me, that was, like, my main thing was that.
Same.
I think it was that Luca guy. His name,
I'm just gonna call him Luca because he's even got the
I feel if the season was longer, I think it would have been.
His name's Doxy. So I looked it up.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with Luca.
Okay.
Yeah, Luca.
I'm just gonna keep calling him Luca because he doesn't belong.
Yeah, I feel like if the season was longer, it would have like he could have done something, but it was just like kind of there. I was like, I don't know why you're here, and I don't want you here.
He was in like what 3 episodes?
Yeah,
I not even for that long.
And then he works at the French restaurant, and then he is at the Battle of the Bands, and that's it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he does kind of save, what is it? Is it Amy and...
Mary and Darcy. I think.
Mary?
Darcy, yeah.
And Darcy,
Mary,
yeah.
Or somebody else.
But it's weird because he's like, I hate these guys. That is what he says. So, I don't know what that means.
Yeah!
It seems weird. It seems like a weird thing. What if he's from Wizards?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people think, because like on Tumblr, when it showed like Merlin creating the amulet, you see like somebody else there, and somebody connected it to the wristbands on his arm.
Yes.
See, I didn't even notice the wristbands on his arm. But yeah, like that was one of the things that I wrote down was, maybe that is like, the person who's helping create the amulet is like one of the protagonists in Wizards. But yeah, I didn't even think about that. I hope he's not a protagonist. I mean, I hope he's not the main guy in Wizards, because he's Luca.
Exactly. I'm trying to look at him just like, ugh.
Go.
We don't need you.
I feel like I like Luca more than him, but...
Well, yeah, like, Luca had like 4 words. So, I mean, he wasn't as bad as hello, doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to hit on Claire.
He did a little.
A little.
A little.
Yeah,
but then also we got to see jealous Jim.
He did get
Jim.
Yeah.
That was so fun.
Oh, Mame. Jeez, can't even talk. Yeah, like, I didn't even think to connect his wristbands to the hand guy.
Yeah, I haven't seen that on Tumblr, him being from Wizards.
It came out like sometime after, it was like really early, like sometime after the 3rd season came out.
Okay.
And let's be honest, most of Tumblr right now is on My Hero Academia anyway.
That's true.
That's just all.
It really is.
Oh man. So I guess we can kind of talk a little bit about the season. I do like that Blinky is now head of Troll Market.
Yes.
Or what's left of Troll Market. Did you guys okay, so here's the thing. Do you guys have a favorite troll?
Oh goodness.
It's hard, right?
Yeah. It really is.
I mean,
there's so many.
I'm really kind of partial to the changelings. Like I like Strickler, but I love Nomura.
She's awesome.
She's super cool, and I'm glad that she got more of an expanded role this season.
Yes, I so wanted that from season 2. I was just like, I just want more Nomura.
Yeah.
That's it.
But like, she did have like a sort of big part in season 2 when she was in the Darklands and she actually helped Jim.
Yes.
Yes, that was a good turning point. Which is so good because I mean it's I like what they do with this series is they'll take a villain and then they'll turn them around. Like what they do with Angkor Rot.
Yes. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not just like, oh, I want to be good now, like I want to help you. Like they have their own reasons for wanting to help and they're not all the same.
Like Strickler, it's like he doesn't particularly care, like he just wants to keep Barbara safe.
Yeah.
So he's got his reasons. Nomura just I'm not 100% sure. She just doesn't want to be controlled. She doesn't want to be used.
It's like self-preservation.
Yeah. I will say one of the saddest parts about this season, to me, because I love the character, I loved Droll. Like,
Oh yeah.
his
Yeah.
like his story arc is probably, I mean, it's definitely above Strickler's. Like, he has the best arc throughout the whole entire series.
Yeah.
Like, he's an antagonist, then he becomes a protagonist, and then he kind of becomes an antagonist again in season 3.
But like unwillingly.
Yeah.
Yes, and
That was the saddest part.
Then he comes back,
But also,
then,
like, this.
unfortunately, he dies, and it was
Yeah.
it was so rough.
It was so visually beautiful, and like the parallel from
Yeah.
him dying to when Kandragar in episode 1, I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
why are they doing this? So good.
And, like, also the saddest part is that, like, he was controlled in season 2 and, like, most of season 3, and then he comes back, he helps Jim, and then he dies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it was one of those, I had a feeling it was gonna happen, just because
Yeah.
of, like, there were a lot of flags that were pulling up when there was like, "Come on, buddy, let's go do this," and I'm like, "Oh no, it's not gonna end well." I mean, you're not gonna get out of that cave like
Oh
unscathed.
yeah.
Yeah. So like his death was definitely big. There's a part of me that wishes there would have been maybe one more. I think
Yeah.
if we would have lost one more troll hunter,
Yeah.
not
It
like
would've-
maybe not in the last episode, but maybe like the episode before or like 2 episodes before, something like that. If we would have lost another one, I think the stakes would have been even higher. Like, honestly, I thought Jim was done. Like,
Yes.
after he faces Morgana, I thought he
Absolutely.
was done. And then when
Yeah.
Claire gets like pulled into the portal, I was like, oh, Claire's gone.
Yeah.
I think it would have been good if Claire would have been gone, not dead, but if that is another aspect of what we need to do going forward is to get Claire back, because we had to get Jim back. Now we have to get Claire back.
It would have made it seem a little like, I mean, because I feel like maybe they didn't because they changed Jim so much.
Yeah.
But I feel like that, in addition to like another character death, would have been like devastating.
Yeah, I mean,
It would have been awesome.
It definitely would have been. It would have put it over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it would have won like 8 Emmys. Like it's just like
Yeah.
if you kill a main character, you win an Emmy. That's
You
why
kill
Miraculous
2.
Ladybug needs to kill off I don't know, Chloe,
Somebody.
and then they'll win. They'll win like 7 Emmys.
Yeah. There
Um,
won't be as many Akumas anymore.
Exactly.
That's true.
That's how you end the series. Like, they kill Chloe, and it's like, oh, well, we're done. Yeah, I wish they would have done something like that. I understand why you didn't. You know,
Yeah.
like it makes sense, because I mean, it is a kids show. You don't want to show like, oh yeah, no, everybody just dies.
Yeah.
But I think we would have, and it would have been cooler. I also wish we would have got more Creep Slayers.
Yes.
Oh, I loved the Creep Slayers arc in season 2. Season 2 was such a fun season.
Oh yeah, it's definitely
It
fun.
was, though.
Like, rewatching season 2, I forgot how many great episodes are in season 2. Because I mean, you go from Creep Slayers, then the episode right after Creep Slayers is that Breakfast Club episode.
Oh my god, it was
and
perfect.
it's so great.
That one's probably my favorite episode
Yeah,
in season 2.
Yeah, it's great. Oh,
absolutely.
man. Did you guys have a favorite episode of this season?
Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did.
yeah,
I
we
think
did.
so.
Yeah, yeah, it was more of a favorite moment.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
So,
see.
I have like a favorite episode.
I really liked the parental guidance episode.
That
Yes.
was good. That one,
Yeah.
that one is really good.
Mm-hmm. And when Darcy's dad shows up, and he's just like, "Oh, we're passing out flyers," and they're just like, "Oh wait, we thought you were coming to like arrest us all." And Toby's grandma hits him on the head with a shovel. I was dying.
It's what that episode and what the Oath where, because for me, I like thought that like Toby's Nana and Claire's parents were almost not entirely background characters. But then we get to see more of them into an episode and how they are reacting to their kids being troll hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, it's a tough one. The exorcism of Claire Nunez is really good. I like that they go into Claire's psyche.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a little bit of me that, you know, I wish we would have seen what was going on, what Claire was seeing, other than she's like, oh no, I have to study, gotta be the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we would have maybe gotten a little bit more, kind of like what they did in, it was season 2, or what? Oh, shoot, was it season 1 or season 2 where Jim wishes he didn't have the amulet?
Season 2.
I think that's season 2.
Yeah. If they would have done something like that with Claire.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if we were seeing this alternate reality with Claire, I think that would have been pretty cool, too.
Especially if, like, we knew, like, as, like, viewing it, that Enrique was still a changeling.
Yeah.
But, like, seeing those little parts where, like, we know what's going on in the background, but, like, she doesn't. So she's like, oh, this is still my little brother. And everyone else is like, no, it's not. You don't even know. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I think that would have been a nice, a fun little extra episode. But I mean, we only got they only have, you know, X amount of episodes that they can do. So
yeah.
I will say I do like the fact that they didn't just turn Jim into a troll and then go straight into the last battle. Like,
yes,
I like
absolutely.
that we got this episode with him. So yeah, like Jim Hunters is a great episode because I like that we have this episode with him and we have him struggling with himself.
Yeah.
And everybody coming together for him.
Yeah, I mean, because, like, from the moment when Jim was like, oh, I'm not a troll hunter, like, we are troll hunters, I was like, oh, good support system, and this is great, and, like, they're a team. And, like, continuously, they're just like, no, it's all of us. And you saw that a lot in this episode, where they're just like, it's not just you who has to struggle with this. Like, we'll take it on, too. You don't have to be by yourself. And I was like, oh, we're troll hunters. Not a troll hunter.
I think it was at the end of the episode where like Jim's at this school and like Claire and Toby are talking to him, and he's talking about how much he's changed, and then Claire and Toby go and say, like, yes, you've changed, but only the outside stuff. On the inside, you're still Jim.
And Claire drops the L-bomb, so.
Oh yeah.
And then I guess Toby drops the L-bomb too, so, you know, I mean... Two different types of love, but, you know.
Yeah. Still love. Love all around.
Yeah, I really like Bad Coffee too. Just because, I mean, it's funny. I like Janeth, or Miss Janeth doing her, like, these violent delights have violent ends. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, that's... Like, I know it's Shakespeare, but it's also like, oh, yeah, it's very Westworld. So, yeah, I like that. I like that they chose that little bit. I'm like, oh, yeah, Westworld, that makes sense. That's pretty cool.
My favorite part of the episode was, like, Jim accepting that, like, of like, Walter and his mom, like being together again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was good, because like you really did see Strickler's motives, and how he's become like less of a selfish character. Because I mean, like in the beginning, the changelings were like, oh, like we're the changelings and we're gonna do this for ourselves. But like throughout season 1 and season 2, and now you like it's like finalized that Strickler's doing this not to like save himself or like save anybody else. He's like, no, I want to save Barbara, and that's it. And I'm like, okay.
And it's also like, well, I mean, it is a good setup for the for the end of the season because now they're parents.
Yes.
Of like
With,
1,000
1,000
kids.
kids.
I know.
Which it's a weird one because I mean we did lose a lot of the Janeth Order or Janus Order. They did get eaten at the teen center.
Yeah.
So they're
Teen
all.
center.
I love that. It's
That was-
a teen center.
It's
like,
I was like, oh my god.
what part of weird Eastern European place you're like, yeah, this is the teen center. But I mean, yeah, like most of the Janus Order is, so that kind of,
Yeah.
a lot of those little changeling babies, don't have changelings anymore. But I mean, it's one of those where they establish that once a baby comes back from the Darklands, that changeling can never turn back. It's always going to be in its troll form, which, I mean, that's why we have Strickler in his troll form now. But does that mean
too.
all of the other changelings that are across the world, I guess they're all stuck in troll form now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that I'm wondering, like, is that gonna come into play later?
Like, are we gonna see what happens with that? Are they like gonna go return babies?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
How-
are they gonna return babies? Or because I mean, like they're talking like they're in all these different forms of government. I think Strickler had said something like they're heads of state. So is that going to happen like in Three Below, where like the news is going to be like, and the president of I don't know, Canada, or the prime minister of Canada is now a troll. What happened there? Just in the middle of a press conference, it's like poof.
And you can see all the conspiracy theorists.
Oh, what? Exactly.
That would be so fun. If that wasn't Three Below, like the alien conspiracy theorists who are also like, everybody's like a lizard person. And they're like, no, they're trolls.
It's like everybody's a stone person.
But it also makes you wonder, like, with the, like, cradle stone are the babies going to be able to be released? Is it going to be one at a time? Is it going to be all of them at a time?
Well, I would assume since they all got sucked up at the same time, I assume they're all gonna get like shot out at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like the house is just gonna be full of babies.
But I also like imagine like Barbara and Strickler keeping some for like themselves to take care of.
I can see them keeping Strickler.
Oh,
and
my
Namora.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah.
Well, it's also one of those, like, what are they going to do? Because, I mean, they can't return some of them. Because some of them have been around for hundreds of years. And, like, their parents are going to already be dead. Because there's that one that's 1891 or something like that. So it's like, that's that. I don't know what you're going to do with that one.
So they have to keep some of them.
Yeah. But I can only, like, imagine, like, them struggling of what to do. Because when I thought of it, I'm like, okay, they might keep some for themselves, but, like, it's a lot of babies. So are you going to give it to, like, couples who can't have kids? Or, like, some from, like, certain communities? Or are you going to put all of them into an adoption center?
And we're also leaving out the biggest hurdle is... how are you going to explain the fact that you just got, like, 1,000 babies?
Like, where did they come from?
But it's like, how do you explain that one? I mean, you can't just, like, drop that one off at, like, to be like, here, I want to give this baby up for adoption. It's like, well, where did it come from? Questions will be asked.
You already dropped off 4 babies last week.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? Oh, maybe Strickler becomes, like, a stork.
Oh my god,
just,
because he has wings and he fly.
Exactly, he can fly and just start putting babies wherever they need to go.
Just dropping them on doorsteps, like a baby for you, a baby for you.
I mean, he's out of a job right now. I mean, he can't go back to being a teacher.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
Night school?
The Miss Janeth was, super accepting of everybody. Like other trolls, so who knows?
I can imagine Claire's parents, like, adopting another kid.
Oh yeah.
Because they already have one.
Why not just have two?
Yeah. Did
Oh.
did not Enrique? Did he go with them?
No, he stayed.
Yeah, he stayed in Arcadia.
Okay, I couldn't remember who stayed. Huh. So it was
Arg
so just
stayed.
Arg and not Enrique?
And Toby.
Yeah, Toby. I mean,
Obviously.
I was thinking troll wise.
Oh yeah.
Did Chomsky go?
I don't.
I mean, Chomsky can't uproot his family.
That's true. He just had his own baby.
Yeah, he just had
Yeah.
his own peanut.
I love that. I love Chomsky.
I love that that's a continuous gag that they just have throughout the entire series. Is just, Chomsky just being him. Just being himself.
Mhm.
Chomsky in that like action figure are the fastest couple in the whole series.
Oh my god, they are. They got engaged so fast, and then they had a whole baby. I was like, oh my god, Chomsky.
I just remember like what it's the first scene of Chomsky in season 3. It's just him like holding a peanut,
Holding
whatever
it,
it was. Or no, it was like at the end of season 3 or whatever. It's just like him like rocking the baby to sleep.
Like singing a little, and that's so good. And how he has to move the action figure's arms when she like is waving. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, it's just like it just like falls down a little bit. He's like, she doesn't care. I have to go. I'm sorry. Yeah,
That's so good.
I don't understand how that relationship works.
Me either. I was like, I'm just gonna like, it just does, and I can't put too much
Yeah,
energy
it's like,
into it.
you just go with it.
It just happens.
It just happens. It does its thing, and you're just like, yeah, sure, why not?
Because I remember in season 2 when it was like Chomsky was kidnapped by the blood goblins, and like at the end Blinky said something about like, okay, I feel like this has gone on for too long, or
Yeah,
we
it's like,
shouldn't.
I'm not gonna participate in his delusions.
Yeah.
Which is it's totally a valid point.
Mhm.
Cause I mean, like the way that the doll moves, like it'll just be like, man, I mean, like in that Blood Goblins episode, he leaves her sitting on the chair, and then he's getting attacked by the Blood Goblins, and she's like by the window with her hands up, just like looking outside, and be like, how? Who did that? Did the goblins do that? Did one of the Blood Goblins come over and be like, I have to do this because it advances the story. Oh man, it's so weird. It's such a weird thing. And then like that one Blood Goblin is like, oh, she's gonna be mine now.
Oh my god.
Like, is that like, do all the trolls think that she is like a real person?
Or are they just like pretending for his sake?
Exactly. It's like, what is everybody in on it? I would love to think that a memo went out to all of Trollkind, and everyone was like, "Hey, by the way, this
is happening.
This little gnome thinks that this Barbie is real, so we just go with it."
I just see Gunmar like holding it, and I'm like, what?
Gunmar's like, "Oh yes," and like move her arms a little bit, like, "I have your wife." That would have been amazing.
That would have been awesome.
Oh, if only. Maybe we can get like Troll Hunter vignettes where it's
No. Like those little Avatar ones, like
exactly, yeah.
TV animations.
Oh,
I would love that.
That would be fantastic. Okay, so what did you guys compare to the other two seasons? If we were gonna rank this season, where would you rank it amongst the other 3 seasons?
Oh my goodness.
I know it's gonna be it's a hard question.
Yeah.
But where would you put it? I'll go first, so give you guys a little time to think. I still think season 2 is the best season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a close second. And I really love season 1. But I unfortunately I would put it at. I would have to put it 3.
Yeah.
If there were, I don't even know how to go from there. It's just, I don't. It's not to say that season 3 is or season 1 is in any way the worst season.
There's no worst season.
There's no worst season of this series. Like, this series is just hands down. I think it's one of the most complete series in television.
Yes, absolutely.
I put it up there with Gravity Falls, where Gravity Falls tells you its story and knows exactly what it wants to do. It tells you its story and it's done.
Yes.
This tells you the story of the Troll Hunter and then it's done. It leaves it open for more stuff later down the line, but if something were to happen and they never came back to this Troll Hunter storyline, yeah, I think it would be fine. It's complete. It ends the way it needs to end. Yeah, like, if they didn't do anything else with it, it's done. That being said, I think season 2, yeah, I love season 2 so much. We have a lot of stuff in season 2, and it's a lot to unwrap. So yeah, but yeah, it's my favorite of this series.
Yeah.
What about you, Mac?
I would think the same thing as you, because like a lot of stuff happened in season 2, like the Reckless Club, and we get to see some like characters like Eli and Steve have more of like a spotlight.
Yeah.
And like we get some of that with like Aja and Krell, but it's like, oh, they're using season 3, the last season, to now currently reference these characters. So it would go season 2, season 3, and then season 1.
Nice. What about you, Xandria?
Yeah. I have to agree. Season 2 and season 3 are like almost the same. But I love season 3 because of how the story moved and how they handled all the characters. But I feel like, so I watch the shows with my sisters. 2 of my 3 sisters, we watch it all together. Like, I'll come down to Austin and like we'll sit and we'll binge it all in one night because we want to watch it together. And like as we were watching season 2, we were just like, this is everything we could have ever dreamed of and more. Like we were just so blown away by how much fun we had watching it. But at the same time, like all the like little pieces that we started to see come together, that helped set up season 3. Like season 1 is perfect and fantastic, and like it's a wonderful setup. And like you said, there's no worst season. It's just 2 was the most fun. I think it was also the most enjoyable. Yeah. And 3 with like the ending, like I love shows that know how to end their series. And I think it's like, I always want more content. I always want more of the story, but I'm like, I don't need more, you know, like I feel satisfied. So I would do 2, 3, and 1 as well.
Because usually, like, in a trilogy, that second installment is usually like the big filler setup installment.
Yeah.
But that's not the way season 2 is of this series. Like, this series is just like, if they only gave you 1 series of Troll Hunters and they gave us season 2, it's like, this is all that Troll Hunters is, I think it would have been fine. Yeah.
Yeah, and it still had that same like amount of setup for the final act of the show. Like, I didn't feel like I was missing anything. I was like, oh, like, how did we get here? Like, when I got into season 3, because I'm like, oh, this all came from this part. So they found a way to make that middle section so, like, fulfilling.
And, like, entertaining, too.
Yes. It was so good.
So, what are you guys looking forward to more? Are you looking more forward to 3 Below or Wizards?
I would say, okay, you can go.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you can go.
I think I'm looking more forward to 3 Below just because I don't know how much of a piece of Merlin's going to be in Wizards, and like I liked his character, but he was mean.
He was very mean.
He was so mean.
He is not a good guy.
Yeah, and so I was like, I don't want to see more Merlin. He was mean to Jim. And I also really like aliens. I'm really into aliens. So I'm looking a little bit more forward to 3 Below, but I'm excited to see how the stories all tie together
Yeah. I would say Three Below too, because for one, and in Wizards we would learn more. We would most likely learn more about Merlin, but for me, I don't like Merlin.
Me too.
So
Exactly.
that's just me. So like meeting these two like weird characters who have no idea how like on Earth how culture is, and they have no idea how things work, which for me will be a really like hilarious and like entertaining show to watch.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to Three Below. I hope that they do something different with the art. That's my whole thing. It's like if they're gonna continue, if they do Three Below in this just like Trollhunters, but then with that just Aj and Krell being the two different ones, I don't know. It's one of those where I'm like, I don't know if I can watch it too long. You know what I mean? Because it pulls me out too much.
Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering if it's like a Steven Universe type thing, because like the gens in Steven Universe, like they create their own physical forms by like altering light or something. They explained it, and I have no idea. I just watched it like yesterday. So I'm like, maybe they're aliens from another planet who don't know how humans are supposed to look.
Yeah.
And like maybe that's why they look so out of place.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, they know what a cantaloupe is.
Yeah.
I mean, they know enough to somehow integrate into a human high school.
Mm-hmm. And know what EDM is.
Exactly, yeah. Which I mean, you know, YouTube
will
give you a nice dose of EDM. Like they flew over Korea, and it was just like all EDM all the time, and they're just like, okay, this works.
This is how everything is.
But it's also funny how like Merlin and like Aja and Krell, who like with Merlin who's been asleep for most of his life, and then for most of the time, and then Aja and Krell just coming to Earth, and like all of them have no idea, and they cannot trust the light in the refrigerator. Turn off.
I did love that was like a, how do you know it stays on? How do you know? Yeah, I thought that was good. I think we had been talking on a previous episode for Trollhunters that I think we would like to see maybe like Claire's mom, since she is in government, at least in the city, have more of a role in Three Below. Maybe something like since she knows about trolls and knows about, you know, the Trollhunters and everything like that, maybe it'll be something to where maybe she can help Aja and Krell, like maybe integrate into society, because they're gonna be doing weird stuff that's gonna like, you know, bring attention upon them. So maybe she can kind of like sweep some of that stuff under the rug for them. Maybe I kind of would like to see something along those lines. To where, I mean, since she doesn't have, since Claire's gone, maybe she can use have these two as kind of like a surrogate. The same thing with like Barbara, and, you know, maybe, you know, having her and Strickler, I don't know, maybe mentors, maybe, I guess.
Or even having Toby in there, just because his view of the world is so like specific. He would like teach them the Toby way of being a human. Yeah, and that would be.
I mean, so far the only two that have been confirmed to be in any of the other series is just Steve and Eli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of like, that's totally fine. You can have Steve and Eli in every series, and then give them their own series, because Creep Slayers the series would be fantastic.
I would watch that every day.
And I love their little hand gesture, like, Slayer sign. I love that so much.
How so clever, and how they can't like tell anybody, so like nobody knows that they're like best friends.
But also, like,
it's one of those where sorry to interrupt, but just kind of going off with that. Nobody knows, but in the Battle of the Bands, like, he's totally got Eli on his shoulders.
That's true.
I was literally going to say that.
That is true.
But like the one thing that I do want to be referenced in like Three Below in Wizards because we've seen in like Trollhunters they have referenced things from How to Train Your Dragon. So I want like in Three Below in Wizards like references of like Jim as like a troll.
Oh, that would be so fun.
That would be pretty cool.
Because like all we've seen was like, oh, he's a troll, and then we've seen his like him getting used to it and then him fighting, and then like they leave. And then we have like these two other series which I think would like if like Steve and Eli and like Toby are in it, even a mention of like Claire and Jim being fine in New Jersey would be like perfectly fine for me.
Yeah, it's like sending postcards when they're traveling through cities or something.
Do a little Skype call. That would be interesting. Oh man, you know what I would like to see though? Like if something happens like and we see Toby and maybe like Jim calls, it's a new updated picture of Jim.
Oh
it's like Troll Jim. Which honestly, I love that the 2D stuff that they do on.
I know.
I wish they would do more of that. Like if they did a series that like oh man, Creeps. Okay, Guillermo, 'cause I know you're listening. So for the Creep Slayerz TV series, make it in that 2D art style.
That would be so cute.
Yes.
Oh, I would love that.
I wish that they would release all of the because like I tried looking for it. I tried looking on Tumblr. I tried looking online to find like those like all of like the 2D stuff that they've done, like all the photos and everything. Because I want to find those because I just want to look at those. I want to look at all of those.
Yeah.
But I can't find it anywhere. So I wish that they would release something, just like a big blurb that was just like, okay, here you go. You guys like that? Boom, there it is.
I think they did.
That. Really, if someone out there can find it, send it to me.
That's what I'm doing right now.
I want to see it.
Because I remember looking at something like when we were talking earlier, waiting for like her to join, was like someone released that worked there, like the art and the before of Trollhunters.
Really? See that's cool. I like stuff like that.
I love concept
art.
It's like in general.
Oh yeah, it's the best.
It's the best.
I loved and then we got to see like the whole entire class in Jim's yearbook.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
I thought that was really cool too. It's good stuff. I love like the little stricklers and everything like that. Like it's man, I would pay for that. Give me an art book.
Oh, I
would buy that in a heartbeat.
Did you guys ever read the Trollhunters book that Guillermo wrote?
I just bought it. I just got it from Amazon yesterday, so it just came in. So I gotta pick it up. So
yeah.
Have you read it?
I have. I found it at half price. I was just like glancing around. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this. It's on sale, and I grabbed it. But it's super fun.
I hear it's a lot darker.
It is. It's much darker. Yeah. The story is completely different, but it's like Guillermo, and it's like the same feeling. It was good. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty it was a quick read.
Interesting. That's cool.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is like Gunmar eats children. Like legitimately, like there's like a machine that will feed like kids to Gunmar, and I'm like, what is this? What is happening? It's pretty cool though.
I did like they had a on the milk carton they did have a little missing child.
Yeah.
Like, no, that kid got eaten.
Yeah, and that was like a nod to the book because it's all about like the kids who were missing on the milk cartons, and they were all taken by trolls, and it's super cool.
See, that's cool. Now I'm gonna be interested in reading that now. Oh man. So everybody pretty much said Three Below. Are we really not looking forward too much to Wizards?
I was, and then we found Merlin, and I was like, I don't want him. That's really the only thing.
Same.
I'd like if we could find more of the like the Arthurian legends type stuff in there. Like that would be interesting if we could find more of those.
I'm down for more Morgana. I thought she was fantastic, and I would love to see I would love to see other like backstory or just like how because she's been influencing the trolls forever, and I'm like, who else has she been talking to? What else has she been up to? And I really liked her.
To me, I feel like in Wizards, it would be back to like when Dea the Deliverer, I think that's who it was, and the whole battle of the Killhead Bridge was going on when Morgana and Merlin were fighting. I feel like that, like we would see that scene in Wizards.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
I kind of hope they do another trilogy. Like I kind of hope that they do a 3-part for Three Below, 3-part for Wizards.
Mm-hmm.
That would be kind of cool. It's one of those where it's like it sounds really great, but then you're also committing like 9 years. Like you're committing like to an extra 6 years worth of stuff.
Yeah.
Which would be great. Unless they maybe do something where they're like, they do Three Below and Wizards like concurrently, where you'll have Three Below, and then like 6 months later you'll have Wizards, and then 6 months later you'll have Three Below.
Yeah,
that would be cool. Nice.
And I really hope that we get a big, like for a final, we bring everybody in it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Because I would love to see, like, and I would love for them to be like some sort of like time skip.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a year or two.
Yeah.
Not it's anything where they're like, now they're like adults or anything. I would still like them to be, kids. Maybe like that, because like they're 16? Well, Jim's 16. I would like them to maybe be around, like 18, 19, something like that, around that age. Just so we can tell that time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe like Jim and Claire come back for like Toby's graduation. Like everybody's graduating high school and about to leave Arcadia, and that's when they have the final everything.
Yeah.
That would be a fun send off.
Yeah, as long as I get like little glimpses of what Claire and Jim and Blinky are all doing. I just want updates. I don't know if they made it to Jersey. But yeah, that would have just like giant crossover for all of Arcadia. That would be fun. That would be really fun. Okay, well, I think we pretty much talked about it. Yeah, I mean we talked about season 3. We talked about what we hope for the future. So yeah, does anybody else have anything they want to say?
Nope.
I have no idea. I just love Guillermo. I love all of his works.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just more. Just give us more. We can't wait.
I know. All the monsters.
Okay, so again, thanks both of you guys so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
Oh, no problem. Now, Xandria, where can everybody find you social media wise?
All right. I don't have a consistent tag. I'm on Instagram as Starship_Olympus, and my Tumblr is The Right and the Honorable. So
nice. And Mac?
You can find me on Tumblr at secretly-miraculous.
Nice.
I like it.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh L. Kane. You can find the podcast on Instagram at Animation Station Podcast, on Twitter at Animate Podcast, Facebook and Tumblr, Animation Station Podcast. You'll also find all of our episodes on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Play, anywhere that you can listen to a podcast, or you can go to our website, animationstationpodcast.com. And we're going to go ahead and put both Mac and Xandria's social medias in the show notes. So all you have to do is click on that, and you'll be able to find them. Again, guys, thanks so much for coming on. We need to do this once Three Below comes out.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. So for the Animation Station Podcast, I'm Josh.
Thanks. I'm Xandria.
I'm Mac.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.